that decision is made for you. When you know that they walk away, and when you know that they walk away, when you know that there's nothing that can be done, maybe, just maybe, God is taking on you on different paths for a reason. You started with the same path, you were meant to be with each other, but God, or the universe, takes you on another direction to learn different lessons. And this is what I believe. For her, she's got to learn to be caring, understanding, and open up. Despite how much I've tried, I couldn't do it. Despite how much I've wanted to, I couldn't do it. And maybe she has to work on her negativity, because that's all I felt. Maybe me, I've got to work on paying attention and being there. It was a blur, and I tuned everything out. So, we are both on different paths, different directions. And whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, a job, anything else, when you're on that different path, you gotta make that decision. You gotta take what's down deep inside and make that decision to go on that different path. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it's that path that leads you to where you need to go to find true romance. And that's what we all want. We want someone who will fulfill us. Maybe we couldn't fulfill each other. We knew that. We put on our act just to get out of whatever we needed to get out of, just to hurt each other. The truth is, if love stood strong and love actually worked, that relationship would have stand. But I guess we will never know. As for now, for me, it's time to move on. And I'm not going to fight for something. It's not even there, and I felt it like a funeral march. I'm going to fight for something that I believe in. I'm going to fight for true romance, true love, true emotions. Someone who I'm compatible with, someone who's been through a lot of suffering like me, someone who understands me and is willing to let me be myself. Because that's what we all want in relationships. To be ourselves. We don't want someone to hide around and lie to us. We want somebody who's honest, who's trustworthy, who can be trusted with your emotions. Isn't that what love is? More after the break, and I will wrap it up with a few words.
Introduction. For as long as we can remember, we grew up in families. Whether it was to our natural parents, foster parents, or it was our aunts and uncles who raised us, we were born into a family and a pecking order. This was our position and standing in the family. Some of us have dealt with our parents first. Some of us had to cope with the fact that there was a smaller member of the family, and some of us dealt with the fact that we had to deal with older members of the family. They were our siblings. Through this time, we develop into people we want to be. We have an idea of the job we want in life, and we have an idea of who we want to marry. Quote, birth order is widely recognized in individual psychology as a determinant of personality. Ashby, Losierco, and Kenny, 2003, page 43. We develop our certain paths by learning from our parents and our siblings. Even singletons go through the growing up process developing traits. Eventually, we learn to interpret where we stand in the family. According to Campbell et al., quote, psychological birth order is generally defined as the way a person perceives and interprets his or her position in the family constellation. Ashley, Losierco, and Kenny, 2003, page 44. This is where we gradually formulate ideas, and we grow them into our own. Oftentimes, this leads to conflict within the ranking of birth order. The next section will discuss how birth order develops in people.
Notes birth order, how the roles of each sibling are placed at birth. Written by Joseph Evaldi, narrated by Jonathan Anthony Young. And that is available on audiobook. Back to the podcast. Right now I have heartburn. And I guess talking about all this is bringing up heartburn. But I will say this. Moving on is never easy. Moving on is hard. You deal with the pain. You live from it and you move on. No one will ever fit that ideal of what was. Someone better may come along and sweep you off your feet. You might not even know it. This is the nature of love. Love, you gotta take the hits. And there's a lot of heartbreak along the way. You go through heartbreak after heartbreak, thinking things are the way they are. But the truth is, in love, as hard as it may seem, as hard as everything may seem, you have to be willing to let go in order to start anew. This season is spring. Spring is the season where the old die off and the new begins. Now, you can't dwell on the past. As much as I've been dwelling on the past for the past few days and it's been difficult to get over it, you can't dwell on the past. The past is gone and the past will never be back. But you gotta live for today. You gotta live for those emotions that mean something. Live for the people who make your life worthwhile. You gotta live that passion to the fullest. You gotta live like love is on the line. Because as I know, love was on the line. And we both failed that test. But you know what? Somebody better may come along. And you may fall in love all over again. Despite whatever pain I went through, I have to say the relationship was worth it. But now life takes us on different paths, and despite whatever pain I caused and despite whatever pain she caused, I wish her the best. But at the same time, I can't look back. I'm moving on. And I gave that opportunity, that chance, but time seems to fail. And I will find, or maybe I have found, the woman of my dreams. But I don't even know it yet. This has been the Joseph Evaldi Podcast. Maybe next time I'll be on with my friends. Maybe next time I will talk about another topic. But as of right now, just like spring, it's time for rebirth. It's time for a new beginning. That beginning begins with all of us. Have a good afternoon. And if you're losing love, find a support system like I did. Talk to people. Reach out for help. You're not alone. And you'll eventually find the woman or man of your dreams. This has been the Joseph Evaldi Podcast. If I could end this podcast, okay, I'm ending it right now.